Hail, strong winds, lightning, and thunder, all of these are possible in a thunderstorm. But what makes a thunderstorm a supercell? Let's find out. A supercell thunderstorm is a type of thunderstorm that contains a rotating updraft, also known as a mesocyclone. This is different from other thunderstorms because usually the updrafts and downdrafts in a thunderstorm are fairly well mixed with each other. In a supercell, they don't mix and instead remain separate. The mesocyclone can persist for hours and grow to over 10 kilometers in diameter. That's about the size of Manhattan. But how do these thunderstorms form? Well, it starts like any other thunderstorm. You have hot and cold air mixing together with some dry air in between. Then you get some lift, maybe from a front or a mountain, and then bam, thunderstorm. But in order for a supercell to form, you need something a little extra. You see, in normal thunderstorms, once the updrafts and downdrafts start mixing, the storm doesn't last very long. But if there's enough wind shear, which is the change in wind speed and direction with height, the downdrafts and updrafts don't mix and the storm can last longer. More specifically, what you need is horizontal wind shear, wind that changes in speed and/or direction from left to right in the direction of the storm. It's kind of like rubbing your hands together. If you move them side to side, they'll rub together and produce friction. But if you move them in a circular fashion, well, nothing happens. Your hands don't touch. That's exactly what's happening with the air in the storm. When the wind shear is present, the updrafts and downdrafts don't touch, so the storm doesn't dissipate as quickly. Also, this wind shear can actually cause the updraft to rotate. And voila, you've got yourself a supercell. When those updrafts rotate, they can pick up a lot of stuff from the ground, like dust, hail, even entire trees. They then carry it up into the storm, where it gets supercooled, and then bam, lightning and thunder. Supercells can live for hours and can travel hundreds of kilometers. Underneath the updraft, there's usually a lot of cold air. That's the part called the gust front. It comes rushing out in front of the storm and can cause straight-line damaging winds. Sometimes it interacts with the terrain and forms a wall cloud. It looks really cool, but also dangerous because that means that there's a tornado underneath it. Not all supercells produce tornadoes, but all tornadoes are produced by supercells. Let me give you an example. On May 22, 1999, a supercell thunderstorm rolled across Oklahoma. It was later dubbed the Bridge Creek Moore tornado because it passed through the towns of Bridge Creek and Moore just south of Oklahoma City. There were 137 injuries and 14 fatalities. The tornado was rated as an F5 on the Fujita scale, which is the highest rating. That's because it had wind speeds over 300 miles per hour, which is 480 kilometers per hour. The best place to see supercell thunderstorms is in the Great Plains of the United States and Canada. Why? Well, the air in the middle of continents tends to sink. So there's a lot of dry air near the surface. Also, there are almost always strong winds at jet stream level and lots of lift due to terrain. All of these factors combine together perfectly in the spring and summer to produce supercells. There are also supercells in the northern hemisphere from about 45 degrees to 65 degrees latitude. But in the winter, we call them snow rollers. Instead of hot and cold air, you have warm and cold water vapor. Instead of rain, you get snow. And instead of a tornado, you get a snownado. Fun to say. So remember, not all thunderstorms are created equal. Some can be supercells, which are capable of producing tornadoes, so make sure you know the difference. If you want to learn more about severe weather, check out the playlist in the description. Once you get past the squall line, there's probably a wall of calm air. That's called the gust front, and the air behind that is where the supercell is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. If you did, please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time with more Minute Earth.